Hey everybody, hope you guys are having a great weekend. I'll wait just a few minutes for people to hop on. I have a special guest with me tonight.
Hey guys.
You watch the comments down there, and if anybody types anything, you can let me know, okay? We'll see if we can get it pulled up on the computer here as well while we're waiting. You're silly. I think the Wi-Fi is not working just right. Let's try this again. All right, looks like we got a couple people joining us. If you're on live, say hello so we know that you're on. I'm getting things pulled up on the computer so that we can see any comments and make sure we can answer those questions. All right, you watch the computer over there, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's see. Here we go. Okay, we got a couple people on now. Let's see. Here we go. It should show up here. All right, awesome. Okay, guys, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I had a special guest join me tonight. I figure, you know, this is all about kids and using oils with kids. And so I thought it would be great to have Chloe help me and just share some of the ways that we use them here in our house. So first, I just want to say that this is one of the things that I love about essential oils is that they are not just for adults. I mean, they're for everyone, especially kids. I mean, oils can be used from, you know, newborns all the way up, you know, throughout your life. Oh, so look, you got some people saying hello. Chloe's watching the comments for us. And they're not just for physical well-being, they're also great for emotional health. And that's one of the ways that I absolutely love to use them, especially in kids, is for kind of grounding and calming and emotional well-being. I'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. The other really cool thing is, not only are they safe, they're super effective, and you can see results pretty immediately in most cases. So that's another thing that, you know, when one of our kids is sick or is not feeling well, you know, we want something that is going to help them feel better immediately. I mean, right away. And the oils really give you that kind of security and also satisfaction that you're able to, you know, to help your kids feel better from, you know, whatever's going on. So I want to talk first about, before we get into specific areas to use them in kids, I want to talk first about the 3 ways to use them and just a few safety concerns in case you're new or not familiar with essential oils. So the first way that we like to use them is aromatically. And aromatically, you can either breathe them in by opening, you want to show some of this? By opening some of the bottles, whatever bottle you want, and just kind of breathe it in. And we'll talk about the specific ones, like I said, in just a few minutes. And then we also like to use them in a diffuser. You want to hold up the diffuser and show them the diffuser. So just in case you're not familiar with a diffuser, you just put water right in here. You lift the top off. You don't have to lift it off, it's okay. And you put water in, and then whatever essential oil your choice is, and then it comes out kind of like in a mist. Kind of think of it like a humidifier. But these are both great ways to use the oils, especially for opening up the airways and for mood management, you know, whether it's, you know, to lift the mood or you need calming in your house. Diffusers are a great way to do that. And especially in kids, that's a really great way to get some of the oils into their system in a really effective but, you know, gentle kind of way. The next way to use them is topically. And when we use them topically, we often use these roller bottles, right, Chloe? Mm-hmm. It's really easy to apply, especially to children. And the most common area to use them in kids is on the bottom of the feet. You get really good absorption through the pores in the bottom of the feet. Actually, the oils can get into your bloodstream within about 30 seconds, and they can service all of your cells within about 2 minutes. So, I mean, super quick, super effective. And when we're talking about, applying them in kids, you want to put them, unless you have older kids, you want to put them on an area that they're not going to be touching and then potentially, putting in their eyes. So the bottom of the feet really serves that purpose well. The other area for kids that we like to do them is just right along the back of the neck or down the spine. That's also very effective. And, if you're talking about a small baby, then if you're worried about them touching their feet, they're most likely not going to be able to get their arms or hands back there to their back or their spine. So that's another really great area to use them. Now, applying them topically, you will want to dilute them, especially, for small babies or newborns. You'll want to dilute a little more heavily. But really, for kids, I like to go about 1 drop to about a teaspoon of carrier oil, which would be like a coconut oil. And that's just a pretty good ratio of dilution. It doesn't have to be exact, but if you're concerned, just dilute heavier. And then the third way is internally. Now for kids, Chloe, she drinks oils in her water to flavor her water. She's 10, and so once you get to about 6 to 7 years of age, you can, what do you got, lemon and lime?
Yeah.
Lemon and lime are really great to flavor your water. But you do want to make sure that you are drinking, when you're consuming essential oils internally, you want to make sure that you're using, like, this is a big stainless steel container. You want to make sure you're drinking them out of either stainless steel or glass. Just avoid plastic or styrofoam, because it can break down the chemicals in plastic or styrofoam. So once they're about 6 to 7 years of age, then it's safe to consume, in small amounts internally. All right, so now let's talk about some specific conditions that we might want to use essential oils in on our kids. So what I did was I kind of just broke this down, and I wrote down what I considered kind of the 12, and I actually threw in a 13th one, but the top complaints or conditions that our kids often, again, are complaining with, or things that come up, and ways that you can treat them and use essential oils. So the first one is cough and congestion. So what oil, Chloe, would we typically use for cough or congestion?
Breathe.
Yes, Breathe. So Breathe is considered, and you want to show them all 3 ways it comes? Yeah. Chloe's going to hold those up. Breathe is considered the respiratory blend, and it's really great for just opening up the airways. It helps to get rid of congestion. It helps to kind of break up mucus and get rid of congestion. It comes in 3 different ways. This is just the oil in a 15 milliliter bottle. There are about 250 drops in a 15 milliliter bottle, so they do last a really long time. And then this one, this way, is a roller bottle that's already pre-diluted that you can rub on the chest. How would we usually use the Breathe?
You can rub it on your chest, or you can put it in a diffuser.
Yes. So you have a couple options with Breathe. You can rub it on the chest. Think of it kind of like a Vicks salve, because that's really kind of what it smells like. It smells like a Vicks Vapor Rub. Sorry, I had a message was coming in. And then it also comes in this really convenient vapor stick. Now this is probably one of my, this is a newer way that they started to carry Breathe. And it really is kind of like a gel, almost like the Vicks Vapor Rub. And you can just rub that right on the chest, and you can just honestly feel the cooling and your airways open up right away. So if they're congested, I'll typically rub it on the front and the back of their chest, and then just kind of rub it in. And then also place a couple of drops in the diffuser at night, especially on the bedside table. Have their diffuser on their bedside table and add some Breathe to that. And that really, really does help get rid of some congestion. Now, I wanted to mention 2 others that are really good for cough and congestion. Another one is cardamom, which is actually in Breathe, but you could always add a little bit of extra cardamom. It's a really great decongestant, and it has decongestant properties, and it also has expectorant properties, which basically just means it helps get rid of all the gunk down in your lungs. Yep, I can't read that without my glasses.
On the ingredients, it says cardamom.
It says cardamom. Okay, thank you. And I do want to point out that with Breathe, if you're new to essential oils, the way that you know that you can consume these internally is if they have supplemental facts on the side of the bottle, just like a food label. So this is lemon, for instance, and it does have the supplemental facts label, but Breathe does not have supplemental facts on the side of the bottle. So Breathe is one of the oils that is only recommended for topical or aromatic use, not internal use. And then the third one that is really good for any kind of cough and sinus congestion, so any kind of congestion, is cedarwood. You want to grab that cedarwood? And it smells, again, really kind of woodsy and kind of earthy. I like to place that one in the diffuser as well. It comes in the 15 milliliter bottle, and again, you can use it topically or aromatically. So those are kind of my top go-tos for any congestion or cough. Now the next kind of common complaint that I thought of with kids is ear discomfort. So which one do we usually use if we have some kind of ear discomfort, or do you remember?
Let me think. I think Melaleuca.
Yes, Melaleuca. Grab the Melaleuca back there. You see it? So Melaleuca, many of you may know Melaleuca as tea tree oil. Oh, Kristen, let's see, I'm looking at the comments. I can't see them on my phone. 1 drop of lemon to 4-year-old's water once or twice a week. Okay, awesome. So Kristen, you're using it. Kristen says she's using it in her 4-year-old. So, you know, I think that using them internally. So I think that, you know, that depends on your comfort level with using the oils. I'm pretty sure I use them a little bit earlier than 6 to 7, but just, you know, if it's something that you're concerned about, definitely 6 to 7 years of age and up is perfectly acceptable for internal use. But some people will use them a little bit earlier in age in small amounts, like Kristen said. So going back to the Melaleuca, so Melaleuca you may know as tea tree oil, and it is great for many reasons. It has antiviral, it has antibacterial, and antifungal properties. So you can imagine that if you have any type, or your child has any type of ear discomfort, you know, there may be some of that, you know, going on, some type of infective type process. We have to kind of be careful with some of the language that we use, you know, on live video. But if they have any of that going on, Melaleuca is your #1 go-to oil. And how would we usually use the Melaleuca for that reason? What do we do?
You can put it like on the front of your ear, like around your ear.
Yep. We typically just kind of right here on this bone here, and then just rub it around the back of the ear. Do that 2 to 3 times a day, diluted. You want to dilute your Melaleuca. And Melaleuca does come in a really convenient, we don't have it in here, but this is Breathe, but sorry. It comes in a convenient roller bottle too, so it's very convenient just to roll in that way. I find from my experience, I only have to do that 2 to 3 days and the discomfort's gone. So if you think about, you know, the fact that if you have these tools available to you, it could really save you a lot of time and money from, you know, going to the doctor's office, taking off work, paying co-pays, getting maybe, you know, antibiotics, things that, you know, we don't want to put into our child's body if we don't have to. So that's what I love about these is they're amazing tools to have on hand as kind of your go-tos, because why wouldn't you try something, you know, natural first if you had that option? And I find that Melaleuca works pretty much every time. Now, the second most common oil that you would use for ear discomfort is what? You know? Basil. Yes, basil. So basil actually has antibacterial properties as well, and it has anti-inflammatory properties. So that's another reason that basil would be really great for any type of, ear discomfort, and there may be some inflammation going on in there. Again, you would just rub it, around the ear, diluted 2 to 3 times a day, and again, that typically takes care of that. Now, this next condition or complaint, I should say, is probably one of our most common in this house, and that would be sore throat. We have a lot of times we wake up and have a sore throat. So what do we do for sore throat? What makes it feel better? Yep.
Lemon you can rub on your neck or throat right here.
And what else? How else do you take the lemon?
You can get a spoon and you can put the honey on the spoon and put 1 drop of lemon and then drink or
take it. And it tastes really good, doesn't it? Yeah. So you take just a spoonful of honey, 1 drop of lemon essential oil, and have them take it. And I mean, they are constantly like, can I have another spoonful? Can I have another spoonful? I mean, because it tastes good. But honestly, every time we do that, they get almost immediate relief from throat discomfort. And I'll also, like Chloe said, rub a little bit topically on the outside of the throat. And there's one more that we use on the outside of the throat topically with that. Do you remember what it is? Eucalyptus, right. So eucalyptus is one that is only recommended for topical or aromatic use, and eucalyptus I find is really, really great for throat discomfort. It also has antibacterial properties, and it has some analgesic properties, meaning that it helps with pain or discomfort. So that's one of the reasons that I love to use it for throat discomfort. So lemon and eucalyptus is just a really great combination. Okay, now what happens sometimes, or not sometimes, what happens with babies? A lot of times, why do they cry? Why might they cry? Something in their mouth.
Teething.
Yes, so teething. I know a lot of you have little babies or small children who have teeth coming in, and it's painful, and they can be obviously upset and crying in pain. So one that we really, unfortunately I didn't have these when my kids were little, but I know a lot of mamas who use lavender for that. So what you would do with the lavender is you would dilute it and either rub it along the jawline, or you could also dilute it and place it directly into the mouth, because it can be taken internally. They're not actually, swallowing a lot of it, but you're diluting it with the coconut oil and rubbing it along the gum on the inside of the mouth is another way that you can do that. And many of you know lavender is very soothing and calming, and so it's going to help with, not only that discomfort, but if they're upset and need some calming, lavender is really going to help in that respect also. The other one that's good for some discomfort with teeth coming in is frankincense. Do you have the frankincense over there? There it is. So frankincense is considered the king of oils. And where do we know frankincense from?
Jesus, God.
Yeah, from the Bible, right? Yeah. So most everybody's familiar with frankincense, given to baby Jesus, right? Mm-hmm. And frankincense, it has very, very high anti-inflammatory properties. So think about, especially for that reason, think about, some discomfort for maybe some teeth coming in and inflammation in the gums. You can place some frankincense diluted on the outside of the jawline, or again on the inside of the mouth. Those two would kind of be your go-tos for any discomfort from teeth coming in. All right, the next condition is elevated temperature. So, when your child's sick, often their body temperature will elevate, and, you want to bring that down, I mean, that's a natural body response, but we don't want it to get too high. So we want to bring their temperature, their elevated temperature, down. And what we typically use for that is what? Do you know?
Usually, I don't know.
That's okay. Peppermint.
Peppermint.
You want to grab the peppermint? Peppermint smells really good, doesn't it?
Yes.
So peppermint can be used all three ways: aromatically, internally, and topically. Now, if we were going to use it for elevated temperature, then what we typically do is dilute it, place it on the bottom of the feet, or even along the spine is another great way to use peppermint for that reason. And one thing I want to mention about the oils, because our bodies know how to use them, they work with our bodies, and actually, because they come from plants, they have a similar cell structure as our bodies, because plants and our bodies have similar cell structure. So our bodies know how to use them. So when the oils get absorbed into our bodies use them up very quickly, very readily, and then they're kind of gone. So often what we have to do with the oils versus like a traditional medication is we have to use them more frequently, because again, our body uses them up. So you may have to, if you were trying to bring down an elevated body temperature, use, say, peppermint more frequently than you would some type of medication. Because there's no synthetics, there's no chemicals, pesticides, anything in these, so there's no harm in something accumulating like that in the body, like there may be in a traditional medication. So for instance, you may have to apply the peppermint every 30 minutes to an hour until the body temperature is at an acceptable level. But the other thing that if you did not want to use peppermint, the other thing that you could use is lime. And often I'll use these together. Lime is really, really great. Lime actually has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties. And if you think about an elevated temperature, that's typically from an inflammatory response. So it makes sense that lime, would help in that respect. So I'll often use those. Smells really good, doesn't it? I'll often use those together, the peppermint and the lime, on the bottom of the feet or along the spine. Okay, what's our next condition? Oh, this one we have a lot of too. Stomach discomfort.
Digestion.
Yes, so which one do we use for stomach discomfort?
Digestion.
Digestion. And it comes in two different ways. You want to show them both of them?
Yes.
So it comes in an oil, the 15 ml bottle of the oil that you can dilute and apply topically to the abdomen. Yeah. Or it also comes in a very convenient roller bottle. And this is, we have these laying all over the house. They keep them in their book bag at school. Just really great if there's any kind of stomach discomfort. Just roll it right on the area, and it works pretty much almost right away, doesn't it, Chloe?
Yes.
And she just, she'll always come and say, where's the digestion? I need some digestion. So it's actually a blend of oils that that doTERRA makes called the Digestive Blend. And it has things like fennel in it. Let's see. What else does it have in it? I think it has some ginger in it. Can you read it? I have to get my glasses to read it. Let's see.
Ginger.
Yep, ginger, peppermint, caraway, coriander, anise,
seed.
Yep, tarragon, and fennel.
Mm-hmm.
So ginger and fennel are two of the other really common oils to use for any digestive discomfort. Ginger is actually an antispasmodic, meaning that you can get some spasms, it causing some discomfort in the stomach, and ginger has antispasmodic properties. So that's another reason, and it's already in that digestion or digestive blend. So I like to use that one. We use that one all the time. Okay, now the next thing is, what if you get some type of cut or scrape or even bite, like a mosquito bite, bug bite? We like to make,
this.
you want to show this?
Yes.
A blend of both this is one that I just made. It says Owie on it, but show on the other side. I put the stickers on here. It's lavender and melaleuca, because remember that lavender is very soothing and calming to the skin, so that works really well. And this is diluted with coconut oil. That works really well for any type of cut, scrape, bite, burn even. And then adding in the melaleuca gives you that antiseptic property, so that no type of infection occurs. So what were you gonna say?
This has lavender and melaleuca, if you couldn't see it.
Oh yes, it has lavender and melaleuca in it. That's right. So some of you may remember that spray that I remember my parents used to, or my mom used to spray this on any cuts or scrapes, called Bactine. And anyway, I just always remember that. But this would be something that you would use, maybe in place of that if you had some type of cut or scrape or abrasion to the skin. All right, next is a burn. And actually you had, where's your burn that you had? Yep, Chloe had, I don't know if you can see that. Well, actually you can still see it just a little bit. Not too long ago, she was, what were you doing? Getting something?
I was making sandwiches.
Making sandwiches. So she had put some toast in the toaster oven. Is that what you did? I wasn't home, but and what did we put on it right away?
Lavender.
Well, we did use that too. Right, lavender. So any type of burn, whether it's a burn like that from a heat source or oven, or even from the sun, a sunburn, lavender is so calming and soothing to the skin. That's what you would want to apply immediately. Now she just said, what about frankincense? And it's true, we did use frankincense after initially we put the lavender on, because frankincense is very reparative and healing for the skin. So the frankincense really just kind of helped everything heal up and the skin to repair, and helped with the repair of the cells basically. Now, as far as talking about burns and using lavender, we also like to, if you have any type of sunburn, you can take a mixture of lavender, just water, and add a little bit of peppermint, a drop or two of peppermint, because peppermint is really cooling to the skin. So that's a great little spray to have on hand in the summertime if you have a burn, like on the shoulders or arms or anywhere. I wouldn't spray that directly on the face, just because you don't want peppermint to get anywhere near the eyes, but certainly on the body it would be very cooling and soothing to the skin. Okay, now another way, or the next area basically that we use oils a lot for in our house, or even when we're in the car a lot too, is for calming. That's right, you knew what I was going to say, didn't you? Calming. So one way to use these oils I mentioned is in a diffuser, and one of the reasons that I absolutely love a diffuser is it can really affect the mood of your entire house, right? So even if maybe your people don't think that they need some calming or grounding, but that they do, judging by their actions, then have your diffuser in your main living area of your home and add some calming oils to the diffuser, and you can really, like I said, really affect the mood of your whole home. So one of our favorites, I diffuse this all the time and use it topically, is what? What's our favorite?
Oh, I know. Peace.
Yes. Peace is called, she's going to show you. That's in the roller bottle. It comes pre-diluted that way. And it also comes in this 5 ml bottle that you can place in a diffuser. So you could just place some drops in the diffuser. It's called the Reassuring Blend. How do we use the Peace a lot?
We
You
put
wanna show
it,
how to do it?
yeah. So we take the roller bottle and we usually put it on our wrist,
Yep.
and then we rub our wrists together so it gets on both wrists.
Yep. So when do we do that a lot of times?
In the car.
In the car, that's right. So often in the car, I'll take out the piece, you know, if I feel like we need some calming and relaxing. I'll take out the piece and I'll roll some on my wrist, and then I'll pass it back to them and they'll put it on their wrist. And the nice thing about that, you know, my kids are old enough, they're not gonna, you know, rub that in their eyes. So it's perfectly fine to do that, to apply it to the wrist, especially in kids that are a little bit older. Now the nice thing is the wrist, your skin's pretty thin right there and you have a lot of blood vessels there. So you get some really good absorption. But one thing that I love about putting it on the wrist is you can smell it and you get the aromatic benefit as well as the benefit of topical absorption. So a lot of these that I use on our wrist, you know, I put it there on me purposely so that I can smell it throughout the day. So that's another one of our favorites. I keep that one in my purse at all times. Now the next one that I love to use for kind of mood management also is for grounding and calming. And which one would that be, Chloe?
That would be peace.
No, we just talked about that one.
That would be...
No. Oh, here it is. Sorry, we knocked it over.
Calm.
That would be balance. This is an oil that, do we have the bottle down there? No. Oh, yeah, we do. Here we go.
Yes.
This is balance right here. This is not one that you take internally. It's one that you use topically or aromatically. And it really smells, it kind of has a sweet and also woodsy aroma. It is amazing. This is just a bottle that I mixed up with fractionated coconut oil that I keep in my purse. I like to apply that one to the back of their neck a lot. If they just really need some kind of grounding and calming, I'll use that one often. I apply it to my wrist as well because I just love the smell of it. Now, one that we use every day before we go to school. Which one do we use every day before we? Yes.
Intune.
Intune. Intune is amazing. I use it on myself as well. It's called the Focus Blend, and just for I use it when I'm working in my office if I want some really good focus, and I know a lot of kids kind of need that extra bit of focus, especially when they go to school. So Intune is just a great one to use. I'll either roll it down their spine or they'll put it on the bottom of their feet.
Me and my brother usually put it on the bottom of their feet.
Yes, they usually do it themselves. So yeah, they usually apply it to the bottom of their feet. To me, it smells amazing. I can really smell the patchouli in it. It has patchouli and I love that scent. So Intune is one of our go-tos every day. Now another one that's really good for focus, and often when they are studying, I will diffuse this one. Do you know which one it is that we diffuse a lot when we're studying?
Peppermint.
Yes, peppermint. Peppermint is really great for focus, and it also helps with memory retention. So if, say maybe your kids are studying for a test, then peppermint would be a great one to diffuse while they're studying because it really helps with memory retention. So that's another one that we like to use a lot. Now, the next area that I wanted to mention is rest. So, getting a restful night's sleep. We know how super important sleep is to our body. I mean, that's the time that our bodies are able to heal and repair from, throughout the day, our bodies are kind of just being broken down from all the things, that are coming at us, all the things in the environment, the stress that we're under. And at night, when we sleep, we have to get a really good restful night's sleep, right? A deep sleep, so that our bodies have that opportunity, to heal and repair. So diffusing at night is an excellent way to do that. So what might we put in the diffuser at night? There's a couple that we use.
We usually use lavender.
Yep.
Or we use Serenity.
Yep, Serenity. Serenity is one of my, lavender or Serenity. Now Serenity has lavender in it, right? And it smells, oh my gosh, it just smells amazing. Serenity also has some vanilla in it. the newer blend that they have has vetiver in it, which is really great for promoting a restful night's sleep. So that's one that sometimes I'll also put a drop of Serenity in some unscented lotion and rub it along the bottom of their feet at night. It's just a really relaxing way to get the oils into their system, and then, you know, also again relaxing to help them go to sleep, get a restful night's sleep.
Yes.
So those are the top 12 kind of most common conditions or complaints that I think we see in our kids. I did want to mention one other that I thought about that's so popular this time of the year, and we use something for this all the time. Yep. So anytime, this time of the year, we have a lot of pollen and just seasonal threats in the air, right?
And like the flu stuff.
Oh, go in there. I think the door's locked. Sorry. Go in there and unlock the door. Sorry. My phone was ringing, sorry. So for any seasonal threats, what we like to use is a combination of lemon, lavender, and peppermint. Lemon actually has what's called mucolytic properties, meaning that it really helps to break up and break down mucus. So lemon is a great one to use. Lavender has antihistamine properties, and we know that that's, you know, the problem with these seasonal threats is the histamine. So lavender has antihistamine properties, so that's a reason that we use it. And then peppermint has vasoconstricting properties, meaning that, you know, all the blood vessels and things in your nose get kind of dilated, and that's part of the histamine response that happens with seasonal threats. And by constricting those, it helps open up your airways, and it helps you not have as much of that congestion and stuffiness. So we keep a roller bottle of this lemon, lavender, and peppermint diluted. It's almost out actually, and we use that all the time, don't we?
Yes,
on the bottom of the feet is typically where we'll put that. Now, if their nose is stuffed up, I also really like to take lemon and use lemon just along the bridge of the nose, because that can really help open up the nose and kind of alleviate some of that congestion.
And also, like, if you smell breathe, it can sometimes open.
Yes, if you smell the breathe, it really helps to open up your airways, right?
Yeah.
You can put a drop in your hand, right? And then how would you do it? And then cup it over your mouth. Exactly. So now, the last thing that I want to mention is kind of ways that you can help your children to stay healthy and boost their immune system. So will you hand me those things right over there? So a couple things that we like to do. First of all, hand me that A to Z. First of all, you want your kids to have a really good multivitamin. This is one that we love. It's called A to Z, and doTERRA does make this. This one is, what's the new flavor? Is watermelon flavored.
It's chewable.
It's chewable. And typically, I think the dose is 2, right? Yes. And it tastes like watermelon. So this one's really good. It's very bioavailable, meaning that it is absorbed by your body very readily, and your body knows how to use it. No synthetics added to it. So, you know, none of the bad stuff, just all the good stuff, all of your vitamins and minerals that you need. The other thing that's super important that I think often people don't realize for kids' health is omega fatty acids. So this one's called IQ Omega, and it's a liquid. You can see if you shake it, it's an oil. It has wild orange in it, so it's flavored. Now, what I typically do is we will put a few drops of this into our smoothie, or into their smoothies. You know, if you're having a fruit smoothie, and it just adds flavor to it.
And you actually can't taste it.
Yeah.
So it's actually good for you, but you can't taste it.
You don't even notice that it's in there, right? I know some kids will actually just take a spoonful of that. If you started them out at a really early, young age, you could probably get them to do that. But again, mine were a little bit older when we started using these. So putting this into a smoothie is a really great way to get that into their system. The other thing, the third thing that is super important for kids' health is, and for everyone's health, but we kind of overlook it for kids sometimes, is to have good gut health. And in order to have good gut health, you really need to make sure that you are taking a probiotic. And what we like to use for our probiotics is this PB Assist Junior. Now these come in little pouches. They're awesome. I actually took one of these when we first got them, tasted it. It really tastes like candy. Yes, sugar, exactly. It really tastes like candy.
Yeah.
Like those, what are those things called? Those sticks? Pixie sticks.
Sticks.
There you go. It really does taste like a pixie stick.
But it's not as bad for you.
No, exactly. Those things are terrible. Anyway, it's all the good bacteria. So that's a great way to introduce those probiotics and good bacteria into their systems. Now, the last way that we kind of promote and help maintain a really healthy immune system is with a blend of oils called On Guard. Do we have our On Guard? Let's see, maybe it's back here. Yes. Okay, you wanna hold it up? On Guard is called the Protective Blend. And On Guard has things like cinnamon, clove, rosemary, wild orange. It is amazing. It smells really kind of like Christmas. But what we do, how do we use the On Guard, Chloe?
We can, like,
put it on your feet?
You know, yeah, we'll put it on your feet and just like the other oils, kind of.
You can put it in the diffuser too, right? Yeah. So we put it on their, they use it on their feet before they go to bed at night, again, for just a daily kind of immune support to increase the immune system. And then you can also diffuse it, you know, whether it's in their room or in the main living area of your home, because it really helps to rid the air of any germs. So that's another really nice thing about the On Guard. Not only does it increase the immune system, it can also get rid of some of those threats that are in the air. So that's a really great way to use it. So those are kind of our top ways in our house that we use essential oils. What's your favorite oil?
The smell?
Yes, what's your favorite smell?
Probably On Guard.
Your On Guard's your favorite?
Or peppermint.
On Guard or peppermint? Yeah, those are two of my favorites too.
It smells like Christmas.
Yeah. But just think about how amazing it is to have these tools available to you right at your fingertips for anything that, you know, may be going on with you, but also that your kids complain of. And you can just pull out your oil, use it, and, you know, not only treat them in a natural way, but avoid trips to your provider, to, you know, the doctor's office, you know, MedStop, what have you. So it's just a really, really great tool to have on hand. Now, what I want to mention to you guys who maybe aren't using essential oils or have never used them before, the way that I got started using them was through purchasing a kit with all of these basic oils. Most all of the ones that I have talked about will come in a kit. So you can get kind of your 10 basic oils in a kit. I'll post some kits in the group once we're done. But doTERRA offers this awesome membership that's $35 and it's for a year, and you get 25% off of all of the products. And when they're bundled into a starter kit, the membership is free. So that's kind of how we started using them, and we just kind of built our collection over time so that we would have, you know, things on hand for whatever symptom or complaint really came up. Yeah. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. Please post any comments that you have, questions in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer them. I'm going to post some of that information, and if this is something that you know, would like to have in your home and you're ready to get started, or if you just want to try a couple of different oils to use on your kids, then message me. I'd love to help you. If you've been talking to somebody else that added you to the group, then please go back and talk with that person. They would love to help you get started. You got anything else you want to say?
Not really.
Not really. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. We hope this was helpful, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.